Why? I'm not even sure if we're gonna be allowed to watch this, but I am interested. This is about Drake, and I'm like, is he
Man,
still?
it's over for.
My favorite thing recently has been XQC responding to Drake, and he's like, "You mess with the skeleton, you get the bone," or whatever. And I'm like, that's so funny, honestly. No, it's like I fucking if anything, I want that written in like some sort of artwork. I don't want to get tattoos. If I'm being real with you. Listen, not like I'm scared of needles. I'll shoot heroin in front of you for you guys, naturally, if you want me to. I'll do it actually off cam. No. But mess with the skeleton, you get the bone. I want that tatted like on my face. I don't want tattoos though. I'm scared of needles.
For my man, that guy.
The
I mean, we're
Drake?
jumping ahead, but
I'm not a
you
huge
can't
fan.
listen to old no more.
I like the
It's not the
songs,
same.
It's not the same. Yeah.
All that
It's
shit.
not.
That's
but
been
when it comes to
corrupted.
the beef,
Yeah.
bro,
yeah, that's the problem. Like he's stepping on his
I
own
want
dope.
Gabby
For years,
Lucent
Drake stood tall as one of the present-day kings of hip-hop, excelling in the commercial lane like few have ever done before or since.
Ah, he's
Plus,
a good guy.
he was battle-tested, even boasting an emphatic win
Dude,
over
no,
Meek
Kendrick
Mill
Lamar
when they squared off.
beat his
And
ass,
even when he
honestly.
took a definitive L to Pusha T
That's why it's
during
like, I
their
don't
beef in
think-
2018, he kept it hip-hop and
I don't
bounced
think if they
back,
were to fight,
portraying
Kendrick would
himself
win.
as a student of
That's
the
why
game.
it's like,
I
dude,
study rap battles
lyrically,
for a living.
he's
Now, when you mention defenseless people
Drake
who are
has hired
sick in the
people.
hospital that passed away, that really sent me to a place where, you know, I just believed then and believe now that there's just a price that you have to pay for that.
Then Kendrick Lamar came along.
Dude.
After throwing out some bait with Like That, a battle
Is
ensued,
that-
which, as you all
Racist.
probably know by now,
Michael
led to the
Jordan?
biggest
LeBron
defeat of
James.
Drake's life. And all the while,
He
both
looked like a
Drake
Greek
and
god.
his
That
team
guy was
claimed that
fucking-
he was unbothered.
He really did. He didn't
Like, these
give a
guys
fuck.
have to be,
He
like,
was
7
genuinely
foot, because
unfazed.
I'm
As he
6
should.
foot.
He's a fucking guy. I respect
How-
it a
how
lot.
tall
and
is
I
Andrew
talked to him.
Schultz?
That shit didn't bother him. I never saw him down ever. I never saw him kicking his fucking foot, holding his head down. And then to a point
How
where I
tall
just
is
stopped
Lil
talking to him
Yachty?
about it
Because
I felt like I was the one bringing him the negativity.
My
But
guess
it's clear
6'7".
now that nothing could be further from the truth. Not only is Drake obviously bothered by it, but it's hitting him so hard that he's
bothered.
not just spiraling as Kendrick prophesied on his song Euphoria, but he's taking his entire career down with him through a string of historically bad decisions. And now, the fact that he's moving forward with a defamation lawsuit over a diss track feels like the final nail in the coffin for
Oh,
his
he
legacy in hip-hop.
is.
If you move forward and do a lawsuit, you're gonna look stupid.
It
According
does.
to the doc,
It does
that's,
look-
he
it
said
looks
that was their
stupid.
response to him. Like, listen,
These are battle rappers. This is hip hop. This is rap. This is what every artist before you that had that crown did. We could go through Tupac. He did the same thing. We could go through Pusha T. We could go through Jay-Z. We could go through Ice Cube. We could go through, of course, Kendrick. We could go through Nas. We could go through 50
Ice
Cent,
Cube did the same
Cameron.
thing.
So
What
many
do you mean?
Common, Prodigy,
50 Cent.
Remy
Did you
Ma,
see the
Nicki
fucking-
Minaj,
Nobody
Nori,
has ever
Eazy-E.
The
Like,
big
nobody
three.
in the history of losing a rap battle has reacted with more whole-like antics than Aubrey Graham.
but it's a rap battle.
Aubrey
like, you
Graham.
win, you lose. You can't lose and then say, I lost and it's not fair what you said. Do you go back and listen to some of these diss records and how disrespectful they were?
Yeah,
like,
and listen, don't get me wrong.
It's your boy Luesta, and today we're diving into the self-destruction of Drake. A story that begins on May 4th, 2024, a day that historians of the
Drake?
culture will remember as the start
Is
of
that
the
Ariana
unraveling
Grande,
of Drake's
dude? No.
unchallenged dominance in hip-hop. That afternoon, Kendrick Lamar, fresh off the release of his scathing and ominous Meet the Grams, Unleashed Not Like Us, was started as a sharp diss, soon exploded into a global phenomenon, dominating the summer and eventually becoming a multi-Grammy nominated track and a defining anthem for the West Coast. From the pop-out to the unveiling of its music
Wow.
video, this track, which labeled Drake as a
I should
certified
have been
PDF
reacting
file,
more
made
when
it
this
abundantly
shit.
obvious who won
lot
the
of people-
battle. While Dot took endless victory laps,
Fucking-
Drizzy unveiled terrible diss tracks like Wong Guan Delilah, collaborated with Camila Cabello, and posted a succession of selfies on social media that no man approaching his 40s should be sharing with the world. In the eyes of critics like Anthony Fantano, he claimed that
And all Drake fans can do at this point is seethe and cope and sit there obediently as he shovels trash like this down their throats. Which, you know, honestly is like the closest I have come to genuinely feeling bad for Drake fans in a minute. But yeah, I don't want to hear this song ever again for the rest of my life.
for a while, it seemed like the loss, while damaging, could still be salvageable. But soon, Drake revealed that he planned to do the unthinkable and pursue legal action against UMG and Spotify in the the wake of the defeat, claiming that they used bots to boost Kendrick Lamar's streams and other backhanded tactics to artificially give K-Dot the edge, even though everyone seemed dubious to begin with, including his own cheerleader, Academics.
What's really interesting about Drake's claim is that if you watch the Academics interview,
Who the fuck
Academics questions the veracity, the truth of this guy, saying, hey bro, are you sure? Like, somebody promised you points for bot streams? There's producers and engineers and people who feature on songs who don't get a % of the song. And somebody promised you. Academics questioned this guy's story. Anyway, Drake's lawyers saw it fit for a filing in a New York state court, and they say, look, this is some evidence of the bots.
Now, all right, I'll be honest with you. I talked to my man from Spotify. I won't say the name right now, but legit Spotify nigga. He said,
I can't move it for some reason.
With you, I don't know what that person on your stream was talking about. Them streams, them Kendrick streams is real. That's what
I'm saying. What I did, I called the people that I know
blending.
Those people that
it would
play
be
like
scaling.
That. I PTR'd it on my floor. They said, "Well,
I PTR'd it on my floor."
And as the world lost its mind over what this meant for his legacy, Drake insisted he wasn't going to discuss it.
I don't think we can.
This already is gonna tell me it's clearly not Drake, right? So Drake didn't tell her this. Again, first of all, I reached out to Drake too. Drake, he's not speaking on this.
You see how messy everything is?
To speak on it.
That's fine.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's a lawsuit. You know what I'm saying?
As always, that silence created a vacuum. And in the absence of any real clarification about his intentions from Drake, his fan base tried to fill in the blanks. Meanwhile, from everyone else, he was resoundingly clowned. With many of those who had been in the same circles as him and knew more than the public was privy to, feeling like he deserved it.
And so now we see what he's doing at the face of adversity.
I got serious.
Or he's a selfish, lying, manipulative sack of shit who has made enemies for 15 years, and now we're here at the fucking boiling point.
They both could be true.
You've been behind the scenes, being the biggest sack of shit you can possibly be. I'm not here to fucking play games with you niggas.
Joe Budden.
Niggas know what it is out there.
People like Budden weren't the only ones either, as almost everyone who ever grew weary of Drake's endless subliminals relished in seeing him fall down.
Drake has been taking shot after shot after shot after shot after shot at like his contemporaries, at total randos like Esperanza Spalding, taking the crappiest side totally at random in the whole Megan Tory Lanez thing. Honestly, like, nobody asked what you thought about any of these things or any of these people. You're just making yourself look like a fucking asshole. You're just making enemy after enemy after enemy, totally for no reason whatsoever.
Who
like,
this Drake fella is, but he sounds like a real
He
jerk.
constantly bitches and moans and whines and complains about, I got no friends in the industry. It's lonely at the top.
Yeah, but during the rap beef, it was exciting to see both of them
in any way
drop.
whatsoever. That's just
Even
like completely
though
by
Kendrick
accident.
was
That's just
obviously
because
winning.
people were mean.
It was nice. I mean, like, Drake wasn't
tried to step
posting.
in
Who
his
would
shoes
Kendrick be
and
yelling
unpack
at?
what was going on. In
You know what I'm
50
saying?
Cent's case, he saw it as a desperate attempt to abruptly shut down the entire world from calling him a PDF file during one of the biggest sporting events on the planet.
So I thought that was Drake's team trying to prevent the Super Bowl from doing more damage.
Right.
Because if you sue Apple and you sue the Universal Music Group during the period where Apple was over the music at the Super Bowl halftime, if they're already in a lawsuit, so they're already financially having to incur costs to defend themselves, and they know what that is regardlessly. We know how much frivolous lawsuits come through, but it costs you a minimum of the money to cut and handle it. So when they see that, if you then reach out, if his attorneys reached out to corporate at the NFL and said, we have this issue over this song. It's already a pending case. We don't want you guys to allow that to air and then you be a part of the damages.
Then, out of nowhere, Drake seemed to have second thoughts. Suddenly, he was backtracking, retracting the petition after his company, Frozen Moments LLC, revealed that they had, quote, met and conferred with UMG and Spotify on January 14th, 2025 regarding this filing. Spotify unsurprisingly had no objection to the withdrawal and discontinuance, while UMG chose to stay completely silent on the matter. As it seemed like they were about to put this behind them without costs to any party, people began to wonder why. Initially, the obvious reason seemed to be that the fierce battle with UMG seriously damaged his capacity to release music, meaning that he now needed to drop tracks in covert ways, such as that massive 100 gigs drop he did, or the Fighting Irish freestyle.
He might as well just tell us prepare for a cold winter, because I don't think we're getting no new music from him. I don't want that, so that's why I think it's bad. I want new Drake music, and I want his music to do well. I don't think his music or anybody's music could do the best to its ability without the label. It's an industry, it's baked in the cake. If you're not with Universal, Sony, or if you're not with Warner, your music just won't get to the next leg.
Still, even with the petition being withdrawn, it seemed like there'd be consequence for it. In the eyes of Whack 100, he felt that the whole thing was such a bad look that he was bound to sell less when it came time to drop again.
Well, what's gonna happen now? He probably gonna end up getting 250 to 400 instead of the 600 he was chasing. His next album is probably gonna do a 30% drop. Why? Because everything you snitched on, fucking it up for the up and coming artists, they're not gonna use for you no more. So if he was dead like 450 last time, he gonna do like 275 to 320, right? Because you ain't finna get that extra push. You told, nigga.
Yet the most important thing was that for a brief moment, the whole thing seemed like it was over. And while it naturally prompted more mockery to come his way, it was nothing Drake wasn't used to at this point.
Obviously, the sheer asinine decision to file legal filings over a rap battle is one of the wildest cases of spiraling I think I've ever seen in rap, right? On its own. And so now here we are 6 weeks after, we'll say.
But if people like Whack, Charlemagne, and essentially every cultural voice not named DJ Academics or Maul thought it looked terrible, well, he was about to make things a whole lot worse for his next play. Where the optics were pretty shady, even when it was a petition to sue
being
over
like,
alleged
we don't
bots,
want the song airing
Drake
at
then
the
went
Super
one
Bowl.
further
I
and
guess it
decided
makes
to
sense.
file a
Like, it's
full
a
defamation
wild-
lawsuit against UMG. And
How sick that
immediately,
car is.
people couldn't believe it.
I'm just laying out the facts here and saying, this does not look good. This looks like you're outside of the culture. This looks like you are doing something crazy. If you have an explanation for it, I'd like to hear it. I'd love to hear Drake's explanation for this. It might be a brilliant one. But as of now, it just looks like he's suing somebody for doing the thing that everybody does in a rap battle, which is talk shit. And do we really think that people are out there trying to beat up Drake or kill Drake or get vigilante justice for pedophilia?
I think it's just like a Drake thing to do.
With that one
Sounds like-
decision, Drake seemed to cement the
Just
idea
so?
that he was a loser. And as a hilarious byproduct of the whole thing, some of his past bars from the beef now look hilarious. For instance, there's this line from The Heart Part 6 where he said, "First I was a rat, so where's the proof of the trial then? Where's the paperwork of the cabinet it's filed in?" Or the line on Taylor Made, where he dared Kendrick to basically call him a PDF file. But the most notable and relevant line to what Drizzy is experiencing now doesn't even come from this specific era.
Are these old
Instead,
ones?
it's a bar from More Life's Do Not Disturb where he said, "I'd probably self-destruct if I ever lose, but I never do." Because now that he's facing a career-altering L, he's essentially done exactly that. But this didn't happen in isolation. Instead, it's been an accumulation of terrible moves that's led us to this present moment where now it appears he may have done irredeemable damage to his career, legacy, and prospects for the future. At the moment, Drake is suing Universal Music Group in federal court for spreading what he deemed to be a false and malicious narrative about him, arguing that they are now valuing corporate greed over the safety and well-being of its artists. Drake and his legal team have tried their utmost to insist that this has got nothing to do with the loss in the battle itself. UMG may spin this complaint as a rap beef gone legal, the documents read, but this lawsuit is about a war of words between artists. Drake alleges that UMG unleashed every weapon in its arsenal to amplify Lamar's track, even though the company was fully aware that the lyrics were not only false, but dangerous. Feeling betrayed by his own record label, which he claims waged a campaign
He
against
does have
him
an
while
argument,
refusing
which
to address
sucks.
the issue as a business matter,
You're
Drake
like,
said he had no
Drake,
choice but to
but,
pursue
I mean,
legal action against UMG.
But then it's like,
Despite
that-
claiming it
oh.
wasn't about a war of words, the
Could have been
lawsuit
about
zeroes in
anyone,
on
dude.
just that.
Honestly,
In the
why is
lawsuit,
Drake taking it
Drake
so
argues that
personal?
the song is defamatory, alleging the
Yeah, but it
lyrics,
wasn't
album
about-
cover, and
you
video
know,
promote
could've-
a false and malicious narrative,
been
accusing him
about
of
anyone.
being a certified PDF file
Honestly.
and a hacker
Yeah,
who
but
should
he
be placed
wasn't
on
like
Neighborhood Watch.
none.
It
That's
also
why it's
claims
the
that the song
rap
cover
beef.
depicts
None of
his
it was
Toronto
directing
home,
it.
marked with icons used by apps like Citizen to identify.
You know what I'm saying?
While the video
I think Kendrick's
reinforces this
fine.
narrative with imagery linked to trafficking and a hopscotch scene paired with the line, "Trying to strike a chord, but it's probably A minor." Despite the lawsuit targeting
but that
UMG,
wasn't, you
Drake
know,
maintains Kendrick isn't the issue. The lawsuit is
it
not
wasn't
about the artist who
directed
created
at
Not
Drake,
Like
even though
Us.
it was,
It is
but
instead
it wasn't
entirely
like,
about
hey,
UMG, the music company that
Drake,
chose to
you're a
publish, promote,
pedophile.
exploit, and monetize
Like, the song is
allegations
just
it knew
talking,
were
I mean,
not
I don't
only
know.
false but dangerous. Much as they did when the petition was brought up initially, UMG's sentiment
Like,
remained
they're trying
one
to
of
strike a
dismissal.
chord, and it's
Experiencing a rare
in
moment where the major
my
labels aren't
bars.
seen as the
But,
evil
like,
empire
nowhere
that they
in that
usually are,
was like,
Universal
hey,
Music Group has relished the
hey, Drake,
opportunity to tell
you know?
Drake to get over the loss, rather than seeking revenge
So, I mean,
where
he is
it's not
wrong.
warranted. In a lengthy statement, Universal pushed back against Drake's lawsuit,
I
calling
don't
his
know.
claims both false and illogical. They emphasized their long-standing support for Drake, citing massive investments in his career
but it wasn't
and
about,
the
it could have been
tireless
about
efforts of
anything.
their employees to
That's,
help him
that's
achieve
gonna be my
historic
favorite
success.
argument for this.
They also argued that Drake had willingly used their platform to engage in rap battles in the past and is now attempting to weaponize the legal system to silence another artist's creative expression. Overall, they firmly denied engaging in defamation and vowed to vigorously defend themselves and their artists against what they see as frivolous litigation. Almost immediately, the lawsuit had
Aren't they
become
both
a
on the
source of
same-
hilarity. To legal professionals, it has been deemed so flimsy that he's getting cooked by legal experts on live television.
It seems like a failed attempt sort of not to look petty, not to look like he's suing the artist that just, annihilated him in this rap battle. Let's just call it for what it is. That song is a banger, right?
All the while, the shift in tone and
Song's a
approach was one that
banger.
only further damaged his standing among hip-hop fans. Because while here he had previously said that the petition was about bots, this is literally about the lyrical content of the track. What's wild is that he's now trying to suppress free speech, which goes against everything he previously stood for, especially when he advocated for Young Thug, a rapper whose lyrics were being used against him in court as well. Ironically, that stance was one many hip-hop fans didn't even support at the time. Friendly reminder that in 2022, Drake signed a letter alongside other artists that protested against the use of rap lyrics in court. The lawsuit he just filed does exactly that. This man has always been a hypocritical slimeball. He stands for nothing that doesn't help him win.
It's two different
Another
things, though.
important aspect
His was
of the
like,
lawsuit that
shot
couldn't be
someone
overlooked was the attack on his home that
this
happened shortly after
street
Not Like
back
Us
in
dropped.
2006.
Police confirmed that they are
And then they're like,
investigating
"Why are
an
you
overnight
rapping
shooting
about that?"
outside of the home of rapper Drake. Here's a live look this morning at
But
the
then
scene.
Drake
this is outside
is
21
defamation, so
Park
it's, like,
Lane
way different.
Circle in North York.
Also
well
wrong,
known to be
but,
the home
you know.
of the Toronto-born rapper. One man was rushed to hospital with serious injuries. Police have confirmed to City News that the victim is not Drake.
In the lawsuit, Drake and his team seek to directly link the
What?
assault, which led to a bodyguard being shot and a bullet getting lodged in his door, to K-Dot's diss track. He then reveals that a man attempted to dig a hole to enter the property, as well as another instance of trespassing the following day too. Reportedly, this prompted him to move his family for their protection, and while anyone would empathize with that, what's not really working is his attempts to scapegoat that particular track as the source of all aggression towards him, especially when he threw a lot of disses out on Family Matters and push-ups.
That's very whack, by the way, and I'll tell you why. Because Drake wasn't just, going back and forth with Kendrick. He was going back and forth with multiple artists. And the Weeknd's manager gets shot.
And
Yeah, something happened with
California,
the
right?
And then everybody, then
Yep.
a few weeks later, the shooting happened at the security
XX,
guard
they got
with Drake,
XX,
and they had an issue.
Juice.
So why are you just pointing at Kendrick and saying Not Like Us caused this?
I'll get to it. So he
Pop?
details the fact that not only was he home, but he had to endure what the security guard went through. He wasn't physically shot, but it was, there was like a mental distress almost, or like a stress on him, because he was a part of the people that they were trying to stop the bleeding on the guard. The ambulance took 30 minutes to get there. So it was a very tragic situation that he had to endure. And he's saying that they point this to the song because of the art on Not Like Us.
Above all, the attempts to claim that Kendrick Lamar's bars incited violence means that he's essentially calling for censorship, but only in one direction.
Was Family Matters not also published under UMG, where Drake accuses Kendrick Lamar of beating his wife, not being the father to his children? And I know one accusation is
those are gray hairs,
societally
no?
viewed as significantly worse than the other. That's why Drake is going on this whole press tour about how much trouble and damage he's been given from Not Like Us. So I get that the stakes are different, but the action is the same. He's pretending like UMG prioritized Kendrick Lamar in this instance.
Drake even taunted Kendrick multiple times, telling him that if he really wanted Tupac's rings, as he claimed in his song Euphoria, then he should come get it himself, essentially daring him to break into his house.
You gotta model me
Shout
for
out Nadine.
You gotta model me for
the
Nocta, bro.
bracelets, you know what I'm saying?
It's crazy, bro.
It's not
my shit, but I still got it though.
How much is that ring worth?
I'm getting it out of the crib.
Sorry, I don't talk about you.
With this willful ignorance and his own role in creating enemies, fans see it as just another example of how Drake has become increasingly unhinged since taking the L. Such as one user who wrote, "The boy been losing his mind since his beef with Kendrick. That man got beef with rappers, singers, basketball players, anybody associated with Kendrick." And if anything further emphasizes how far out of touch he is with reality, it's the fact that he's even coming after the YouTube community for their reactions. In a baseless claim, Drake suggested that the reaction community were over-exaggerating when they first heard Not Like Us to artificially boost its popularity. Immediately, Zayas and B. Lou disputed claims of being paid. Instead, they argued that the song simply went hard.
If this your first time hearing Not Like Us, what the f is you supposed to do? If a motherfucker come on this bitch, dun 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 dun, you know, it's what the f you gonna do?
I haven't
you know what I'm
listened
saying?
to it.
That shit was a banger.
Not like that,
That shit
but
was a
like
banger. Even you as a
I
Drake
watched
fan, you
a
can
couple
admit that
people's
Not Like Us
reactions.
was the definite banger in this whole entire beat.
And in what must be an alarming new trend for Drizzy, even academics conceded that he was maybe in denial about the track just striking a major chord.
Yeah, no, it was a hit. It was a hit. Because the
It was a-
narrative
it was
that
a-
they trying to spin in
I
the lawsuit is that
thought it was nice.
UMGs created incentives for
I like the
reactors
whole
to react in the way that we did, and that's why the song went up. When it's like, no, regardless of
Because they were like
UMG did,
posting,
we
it
gonna
felt like
react the
they were
same way
like
that we did,
kids
bro.
posting
Every-
online.
We did the same way with
that's what
Drake,
it felt
bro.
like.
When his shit was booming, bro, I'm hearing bars and I'm lit, bro. I get lit, bro. That's me, bro. You feel me?
I've said this to a few people privately, but I think I've said this publicly too. I think one of the ways how Drake views this whole thing is that he really don't think that song is as lit.
One of the rare
as-
moments he's not stretched. Or
But
like,
it is though. You feel me?
Faced with this wild accusation, the duo even considered how they could get a bag from Drake over it with a suit of their own.
Is there any play in a countersuit with Drake's lawsuit, being that he mentioned us? I'm on stream, by the way. Because I'm not gonna lie, like when I saw me and B. Lou was mentioned in the lawsuit, I haven't been at ease all day.
Well, what did it say? I was unaware of that.
Yeah, it said that it made claims that we reacted in a certain way because UMG lifted our copyright, and I've been getting all kinds of threats from OVO. Like my family been getting threats. They've been like finding my address. I just been distressed all day.
Others, such as No Life Shaq, just straight up clowned him.
This nigga Drake them snitched on the reaction community. It's no way you got us in this case, dog. Nigga, we chilling, having fun, and you got us listed in the case? Oh, this gotta be the softest nigga ever, dog. Man, hey, Drake, you ain't hip hop, bro. It's no way. You a great artist, I give you that all day long. I promise you. Can't take that from you. But bro, you gotta be the softest nigga in the history of Earth. Yo! Look at this, y'all.
Then, as often happens with these arguments Drake has made, there was the hypocritical side to it all that only further damages his credibility. As the news broke, another reaction channel, Screwface John, suggested that there was no copyright claims against his reaction to the song Push-Ups by Drake either. But that's only scraping the surface. After all, this is the same guy who told Kai Cenat to stay on stream to react to his diss track, and whose team allegedly tried to pay Rob Markman to take his side in the beef.
I tell you one further, and I'm gonna be honest, and I haven't said this, and I was approached during the battle by a team connected with the OVO side and asked me to show the boys some love. You know, again, I was being as unbiased as possible. I was calling it like I said, but they asked me, yo, we know you're unbiased. Really said it. We know you're unbiased, and we like that you're unbiased and you really try to call it straight, but can you show the guys some love? And no money was offered. No, absolutely no money was offered. But you know, they kind of offered some things, some information, some access, and say, yo, and we'll make it that you could play his songs in your videos. You know, we'll whitelist it. Ultimately, I declined.
Above all else, what's clear is that in the court of public opinion, playing the card that he is an innocent bystander can't fly when tracks like Family Matters are still out there in the world. Drake isn't a victim. He attacked Kendrick's family and child first. He put the same risk on Kendrick's family he's complaining about. Kendrick's kids also have to go to school. Kendrick's wife matters. He has a history of involving other men's families or significant others. Battling on all fronts, Drake just can't seem to escape damaging
Whatever
his
happened
public
him
image, because at this
going
point,
after
it isn't
X?
even a crash out, but crash landing to Earth. In Academics'
Everyone just
opinion,
forgot it?
all of this behavior in the wake of Not Like Us all comes down to the fact that he simply can't fathom taking the L when he's usually accustomed to wins.
Without any business, no matter what, you're supposed to take some of your profits and put it back into marketing. You're supposed to have a rollout. You're supposed to keep investing to keep getting more and more listeners or eyes or consumers to grow. You're not just to say, I'm the guy, I'm the hottest, and maybe because I'm putting out the hottest music and I'm making some social moves and you see me do a collab with 21 or Future, I don't need to do the other shit. But if you ask me, I think Drake has done that. So I'm not even I'm not saying Kendrick used bots, but if Kendrick had a rollout, I'm not blaming Kendrick at all.
But he must be getting used to it, because at the moment, he doesn't even recover from one public-facing disaster before he sets off another one. After all, this comes at a time when he's already in a one-way dispute with LeBron James. Following their appearance at the pop-out, Drake had smoke for a succession of basketball stars, including former Toronto Raptor DeMar DeRozan.
Fuck out of here,
But
pussy.
this was just one of many basketball beefs which he has focused on as opposed to trying to outdo K-Dot. Currently, Drake is deeply in his feelings over what he sees as the betrayal of a man who he counted as a friend, or at least admired, to the point that he literally got his high school jersey tattooed on his arm. In Drake's defense, it truly did seem like they were all good. In fact, you only need to go back as far as November of 2023 to see him literally being accompanied at shows by James and his son. But it seems like whatever bond they had imploded when LeBron showed up in the crowd at the pop-out. With Drake's reputation in shambles and Kendrick continuing to rise, it appears that LeBron has gone all in as a K-Dot fan. And for Drake, this must have been a rough lesson to learn after being a kingmaker for so long. Because once people are looking at you sideways, those fair-weather bonds that aren't built on real friendships will fall apart. Soon, leaked DMs made the rounds, with it appearing that Drake was making some bold claims about LeBron's adulterous ways. Me and Universal is like Nike was funding a campaign about LeBron cheating on his wife, not Adidas or Reebok. Nike, the company he's been with since he started. My situation is not no street shit. From there, the allusions to his problems with LeBron just kept coming, with the Fighting Irish freestyle, in which a wounded Drizzy seemed to be suggesting that he wouldn't hesitate to ruin LeBron's reputation. In the lyrics, he said, "Talking about we family, well, I'm not the cousin to visit. God forbid we ever got to tarnish your public image. All that brother talk as if I really discovered a sibling." From there, Academics filled in the blanks by going on the attack.
Newsflash for LeBron. Yo, LeBron, I talked to enough whores in Canada. I've talked to enough people. Maybe Drake will keep teasing it. Let me just tell you what I've heard. Yo, LeBron, you and Drake used to go on two-man, okay?
But while Ak felt like it was a masterful move, he seemed to be the only one. For one, Ebro and those at Hot 97 couldn't believe that this was what he was doing to another high-profile figure.
I've never seen bitch asses like this. This is what I'm saying, and I think for the average person, it's got to be fairly confusing, because why is Drake going at LeBron?
Because LeBron danced to Like Us and was rapping Man in the Garden from the GNX album on social media.
At the pop-out.
Now,
so
for
Drake's
the record,
feelings are hurt, so he's going at a dude who can't rap.
No, but yes, but real quick,
And
Sean,
outing
yes.
his family?
Sean, yes, to your point, yes. I want to be clear.
That
I
is
said
funny.
on this radio station last week, and I said it with my chest, I understand why Drake would be annoyed after the years of friendship that LeBron would be so publicly like supporting Kendrick's music. I get how that would make you feel away.
And Drake has LeBron tattooed on his body.
Shawnee, stop saying the things I don't understand. I'm saying what I do understand. Okay? Yes.
Meanwhile, he was just outright clowned by Charlemagne in the Breakfast Club, channeling the days where memes about Drake being overly sensitive ruled the internet.
It sound like a love letter, like, yo, what happened? You cheated, like, you know what I'm saying? It sound like they was lovers, like, this is too much.
It do sound like Drake broke up with all his NBA booze in his head. DeMar DeRozan, Bron.
You would even check up on my son like a pediatrician, like, yo, what's going on with you?
I like when Drake raps, but why are you sitting around writing the heartbreak records?
But that's what he should do.
Because these
in
guys
a dark, dim room.
But that's what he should do. That's what we said. We instead of going to Instagram and IG and social media, he should be putting it in his music. I would have loved to hear an album off of it. But
you writing the Heartbreak Records because you got your ass kicked in a rap battle and everybody and their mama agrees with
which
you.
is so crazy.
This is R&B.
He shouldn't be online talking about it. He should put it in his music. And then when he puts it in his music, you're saying he's a sucker for putting it in his music.
No, we just saying don't sound gay about it when you're doing it. That's what we're simply trying to say.
That's his feelings.
Aside from Academics, Maul, and the rest of the OVO Avengers, it feels like Drake is only winning with streamers and fellow Stake associates like XQC and Aiden Ross.
I guess I should give a little intro. Like, I'm Drake. This is XQC, real streaming legend. Me, I do music. In case you didn't know, I'm here. As you can see, fully intact, mind, body, and soul. In case you were wondering.
I need to. Why? What if we could have Drake on one day?
Fairy tales won't do it. Cheers to everybody.
Words live by.
Words to live by. Real talk. Cheers to everybody. Love. W's for everybody. Maxes tonight. Anitas.
We need Max winner.
Anitas tonight. Listen.
As when it comes to hip hop, it feels like everyone has collectively taken
They
a
had a
step back
magician
from their
on, I think.
fandom, if
We should
not
react to
distance
that.
themselves entirely. Meanwhile, the less said about the West Coast, the better. There's literally billboards clowning him out here. Elsewhere, it feels
Drake
like you
the
can't
lawyer?
refresh a
What?
feed on any social media platform without seeing someone clowning him in an inventive way.
If you don't like me, I'ma sue you.
You know the judge's OVO crew.
Go ahead, get your lawyers on the
Yeah,
phone.
there we got
Cause
that.
I'm about to sue you.
That wop's gonna be evidence, baby.
And yes, I'm for real 38 years old. But I'm just
And as the fallout from the news of the lawsuit
The
reaches its peak,
PPP
his fans are left
people.
trying to find any angle in which this could be deemed
Dude,
a
a Hotline
win.
Bling
Him filing
song?
this lawsuit
I
meant
remember
that
that.
Universal
was-
has to commission probably at least $1 million in responding, gathering some type of discovery.
mind
'Cause
me.
That's what comes really next. Filing
You know what it
motions,
is.
doing all these show cause motions, setting all probably it's going to be a lot of money. They have obviously an extensive legal team, but now Drake is costing them money in court when he used to make them money on Spotify.
But for the most part, they're having to concede that there are a few ways to spin it in his favor.
Did you communicate with that label to say, hey, you have my, did you communicate with them in Spotify to say, hey, you have my house as a cover art to the
My bad.
song and my house just got shot at? Stop. Because if none of those things or communications happen, it seems a lot like it's happening in post
You know
when
that
really
Hotline
nothing
Bling.
could be done. I guess you could get money, but it then would lead the like-minded people
Fire.
who I see are a lot on Twitter who are saying, no, this lawsuit's only filed because you lost.
And in the worst case scenario, they feel like he might be cooked
He has a
no
face
matter
tat?
what happens.
Because I didn't think Drake was going to file a lawsuit at all. I was like, why not just file the lawsuit? Instead, what the petition was asking for was, yo, show us some of the things that we have no access to that we could get the proof to file the lawsuit. And I'm like, just file the lawsuit, then ask for that in discovery. That's what people do. So I thought this was a leveraging play from Drake. I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought Drake at some point was gonna drop it after Universal probably be like, this is a bad look for us, whatever. But me, honestly, I think secretly, I think Universal, this is me speaking here, I think Universal has responded in a way that Drake didn't think they would respond. I think they're saying to Drake, oh, you really think you that nigga? Well, fuck you, fuck a settlement, and fuck your career.
Now that he has pressed the proverbial red button, Drizzy has to stick to his guns. And at the moment, it appears that there's no way to solve it. And it's only liable to get worse when Kendrick takes to the stage at the Super Bowl in a couple of weeks' time.
Doing this to help other artists is not about no other artists, it's about himself. Had he won the battle, he would have not filed nothing. He would have not filed nothing. And you could just see that from the simple fact about how all these niggas was talking greasy after the battle.
How would he? I'd say he
people,
drops
talking
music
about all this
before
other
Super
stuff,
Bowl.
and then now we get this
Right?
federal lawsuit. Some think it's a ploy for him to put Kendrick in a position to not
I don't know.
perform, not like us. Some people say behind the scenes he's crashing against the NFL. Listen, it's about to get darker. If you thought this shit wasn't dark, bro, if you thought that you wasn't
that Pink
already going through
SpongeBob?
it, if you thought that, you know what I mean, you've met your worst when it came to this battle, you have seen nothing yet.
As he's backed into a corner, people can't believe the fall from grace that they're seeing right now. Because, as Glasses Malone pointed out, this is a man who literally had it all and squandered it.
Kendrick and his bots that who.
Stop it.
This nigga such a fucking dumbass. He's so culturally ignorant, cuz. Like, he's so fucking stupid, man. Like, you gotta get your feelings out the way, cuz, and get back to the business. All that dumb shit cuz doing is dumb. Like, nigga, you got it. Cuz had it. Cuz had the rock for real, cuz, and this what he did with it. Just dumb.
Super Bowl in 3.5 weeks.
And cuz the nigga hole finna get so much deeper, cuz, after this Super Bowl. Phew.
Yeah, it's gonna get. I'm hearing things, man. I'm hearing like it's a lot of music coming.
And you keep helping and you burying him further. When you do that LeBron shit, that shit burying cuz.
And when it came to the beef, he was given an out and didn't take it.
Also, he had the option of saying, you know what, I'm not gonna do this. Like when he did like that, he could have just said, I'm not gonna join in. But once you join in and you start going in and he start going back, you can't say, well, he came with a knife and I don't want to fight no more.
Kendrick
No, a fight is a fight.
Kendrick warned you on Euphoria several times. Kendrick said this can go very, very far if you want it.
Basically, the end result of everything that's happened is that Drake is now back to where he was at the beginning of his career, an outsider in hip-hop. In fact, it's gone even further astray to the point that, to many, he's an enemy. Or to be more exact, this was broken down by Ray Daniels in a way that Drizzy will appreciate.
I don't have a playlist of them in order.
You know what you're doing is wrong.
Are we allowed to just watch them in order?
Drake is the away team now. You know when you're at a basketball game and they say, hit that, you can hit that, hit it. No, hit that, we need, no, listen. By the way, I need a sound. No, seriously. Go ahead. They say, you know, the home team, they're like, LeBron James. Drake is like,
LeBron James.
I mean, that's just who he is now.
With things spiraling out of control, it's got to the point that even long-term fans are struggling to abide by it or even engage with his art. Kendrick destroyed Drake so badly that I legitimately can't listen to Drake anymore. Yeah, it's kind of difficult, can't lie. And as if that wasn't bad enough, even some of his biggest offenders are washing their hands of this particular situation.
We'll watch.
Yo, the reason why Drake's hate is because of act. No, it ain't because of me. I'm not filing lawsuits. I'm not doing these things. Like, if you leave it up to me, Drake would disappear for a little bit and just chill out. You know what I mean? Like, but that's me. Like, I can't tell the artist what to do. In reality, I think at some point, you know, the duck lips and the random mirror selfies has to stop, and Drake has to try to answer to this himself, right? This is one of the reasons I don't talk to him about the lawsuit. I've never asked him about the lawsuit. I asked him if it was real once, and the lack of answer meant, other than that, I don't want to know his intentions, right? Because I don't want to be the person regurgitating what he's telling me. He should tell the world.
At the moment, it's hard to see how Drake comes back from this, but considering he's literally one of the biggest artists of our time, it's impossible to count him out entirely. What would certainly be a start is to take some accountability for his part in creating his own downfall, rather than deflect blame everywhere else. And if it's not too late, maybe considering shelving the lawsuit, because that's another L that's really going to hurt. It's your boy Luista, and I want to thank y'all for watching today's video. As always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Oh good.
Kendrick and Drake's feud.
I want to watch the whole beef. Or like the musics. Look at this dude.